So it's day 62 of the Iran war. The ceasefire seems to be holding, but there's no formal talks ongoing between Iran and America. Despite President Trump's claim that Iran has been defeated and they have no cards to play, there are very few good options available for President Trump at the moment. Although there aren't any talks ongoing, President Trump continues to use threatening rhetoric against the Iranians if talks aren't resumed and concluded satisfactorily. Trouble is, threats haven't played well against Iran so far. Likewise, President Trump claims that he controls the Strait of Hormuz with the blockade. Meanwhile, earlier today, the Iranians went on a televised address to make three clear points. In the past, they've claimed they were prepared to open the Strait of Hormuz if America eased the blockade, and that would enable further talks to be continued. However, today, what the Iranians have said is that actually the Strait of Hormuz is a regional problem that should be sorted by regional allies. In other words, alienating America and pointing the finger of blame at America for regional instability and for the global energy crisis. The Iranians also said they were very clear they wanted to protect their nuclear program and also their ballistic missile capability. That was clearly fiery rhetoric, but probably aimed more at domestic market than internationally. It was also interesting today that the Gerald Ford has apparently withdrawn from the operating region. Now, does this a sign of reducing military intent by America? Almost certainly not. The Gerald Ford has been at sea for over 300 days now. In 50 years of carrier operations, that is a world record for the length of time a carrier has been at sea. And as somebody who's been at sea for many months before, the crew, the aircraft, the ship, all of which will be exhausted, all of which will need rest and recuperation and a degree of servicing. Besides, America is not short of military firepower in the region, and it already still has 2 aircraft carriers and a whole load of military bases bristling with air power. America isn't short of military options in the region. So what are the options that are available to President Trump at the moment then for resolving this situation? One of them is negotiation. The problem at its heart is the nuclear debate. In 2015, a proposal was agreed eventually after 2 years of negotiation. President Trump has decried that, but today Iran is in a stronger position than they were then, and therefore almost certainly there won't be a situation in which President Trump could sign up to a worse agreement than he ripped up before. Not satisfactory. The second option, of course, is fighting. Well, we understand that some military chiefs in America are providing options to Trump, including hypersonics, but military action hasn't worked so far, very unlikely to work again, and besides, it would extend an already very, very unpopular war. The third option is just to get up and walk away, declare victory in his 3 strategic objectives, and leave the Strait of Hormuz to be dealt with by international colleagues. The downside of that, of course, is it doesn't solve the root problems. Eventually, the Iran will rebuild, and it's a bit like mowing the grass. It will grow back. The problem will recur, probably after President Trump's presidency has finished. So where does that leave us grand strategically? Well, at the start of the conflict, President Trump almost certainly expected a short, sharp and decisive military victory against Iran. But despite overwhelming American firepower, it looks now as if America might have been outplayed by Iran.